All right, some new information in the fight over fantasy sports games here in California. The Attorney General, Rob Bonta, today releasing his decision, officially saying that online fantasy sports platforms are prohibited here in the state.
People use those platforms to pick professional athletes for their fantasy team for specific sports, and they can win a prize if their team wins.
Let's go to KCRA 3 Capital correspondent Ashley Zavala, the first to report that he was going to make that decision. He joins us now with the development and what the governor has to say about this.
You know, Golston, off the top, we should note this puts billions and billions of dollars at stake. California Attorney General Rob Bonta officially released what's called this legal opinion, stating these online fantasy sports platforms are illegal. In the 33-page document he released, his office came to this conclusion you see on your screen here. California law prohibits the operation of daily fantasy sports games with players physically located within California, regardless of where the operators and associated technology are located. Such games constitute wagering on sports in violation of a section of state law. Sports betting is illegal in California. Okay, so why did the Attorney General release this? Well, former Republican State Senator Scott Wilk and Assemblyman Tom Lackey requested this opinion after voters overwhelmingly rejected a measure to legalize sports betting in 2022. Gaming tribes and lawmakers have said fantasy has been a legal gray area in all of this. But Governor Gavin Newsom quickly distanced himself from Bonta's action today. His spokesman, Izzy Gardon, told us in a statement, quote, "The Attorney General in his independent capacity issued this opinion, not the governor's office. While the governor does not agree with the outcome, he welcomes a constructive path forward in collaboration with all stakeholders." In a statement, the Coalition for Fantasy Sports pointed to a Sacramento County judge's decision, which we reported yesterday on this. They said, quote, "We agree with Governor Newsom. AG Bonta got it wrong. As the court said yesterday, this opinion does not affect any change in law and does not carry the weight of law. The law has not changed. A fact the last two attorneys general, Kamala Harris and Javier Becerra, recognized as they specifically declined any similar action." They went on to say, "We are hopeful the Attorney General heeds the governor's call to find a constructive solution that preserves the games that California sports fans love." Meanwhile, Bonta did not make a decision on season-long fantasy sports like fantasy football or baseball leagues, for example. But the Attorney General also did not say if there's really any legal difference between the two. I asked adjunct McGeorge School of Law professor Chris McCaley if seasonal fantasy sports are safe.
Actually, it would require another opinion. It may seem silly, but remember the Attorney General is required to answer the question posed. And the Assembly member asked about daily fantasy sports, not seasonal or other types. So the Attorney General's opinion is directly in response to the question about the daily ones. I would think that based upon his legal analysis in ruling, in his opinion, that the daily fantasy sports is contrary to California law, that he would find the same way for the seasonal.
Now, James Siva, the chairman of the California Nations Indian Gaming Association, commended the Attorney General for this. But in a statement, he said, "It is also very clear that California has long turned a blind eye to illegal gambling at the direct expense of tribal governments. Untold millions, if not billions, have been illegally wagered over the past decade. Where is the enforcement? Where is the accountability? It is now imperative that the state back up this legal opinion with strong enforcement and that lawbreakers be held to account." So that statement right there could be teeing up some court action potentially between the tribes and these online operators.
Yeah, the battle for those gambling dollars for sure. So, okay, what happens from here?
So tonight, the Attorney General's office says they expect daily fantasy sports companies to come into compliance, basically stop operating in California. But the AG is not saying what action he'll take if that doesn't happen. I've asked, are they giving them a window of time to do that? Nothing yet from the office. Aside from court battles, we could see major fights at the state capitol over this in the coming weeks, if not months. The ball at this point is in the court of state lawmakers and the governor, as you saw, signaling tonight he wants to work this out.
All right, interesting. Ashley, we'll keep following you. Thank you.